These are the best-selling lures in the country, but do they actually catch fish or just fishermen? I grabbed 6 of the top sellers and I'm going to be putting them all to the test. Starting with the Berkley Nessie, a glide bait that's been selling out everywhere, but can it get bites when it counts? The War Eagle Spinnerbait, old school but still one of the top sellers, and maybe it's for a reason. The Chatterbait Mini Max, small profile, big vibration, and it's one of the most popular lures right now. The Spro Bronzeye Frog, built for big topwater bites with a crazy action and sharp hooks. Next up, Yamamoto Senkos. And you already know this lure is a classic and can outfish any other lure. The Geecrack Bellows Gill. It's a weird looking bait from Japan, but apparently bass cannot resist. So before we go out and catch fish on all of our best selling lures, today's video is actually sponsored by Whatnot. And if you guys have never heard of Whatnot, it is basically a live shopping app where you can buy, sell, and auction off literally anything in real time. So as you guys can tell, there is a ton of different categories on Whatnot, so there is literally something for everyone. But you guys know I love fishing, so we're gonna go into the outdoors category and we're gonna see what we can find. All right, I just found a lure I wanted and placed a bid, and boom, we won and got some inline spinners. And I'm actually gonna be hosting a Whatnot live stream on November 7th. And I'm running a bunch of fishing tackle of all kinds, baits, gear, all sorts of stuff. It's a fun way to hang out live, run some giveaways, grab some deals, and support the channel at the same time. And if you guys have never tried Whatnot, you guys can sign up using my link down below in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen, and you'll get a free $15 off your first purchase. And again, that is gonna be on November 7th. So come hang out, let's talk fishing, let's run some giveaways, and maybe even grab some tackle while you're at it. Hope to see you guys there. Let's go ahead, let's hop on the water, and let's go catch some fish. So first up, we have the Spro Bronzeye Frog, and it is an absolute legend in topwater fishing. This bait has been crushing bass for years and still dominates in frog sales. It's compact, walks easily, and has probably caught more fish in the pads than any other frog ever made. It's compact, it walks easily, and gets big blow-ups. Well, we have a nice overcast day, and I'm hoping the topwater bite is going to be pretty good because it is a little cool out this morning, but I still think the fish should be aggressive, and I just love this color we have. So let's go ahead and let's make some casts. Let's see what this thing's got, and let's see if we can't get a topwater blow up this morning. I think it might be a little bit difficult just because, you know, the fall mornings are kind of cold, but I think if anything can draw on a bite, it's going to be the frog. So we're going to see what we can do here. Cast this thing up shallow by some good areas. This is the popping version, so I can kind of pop it, keep it on the slow side, and maybe that's going to lead to a bite. I'm excited that we're having some cooler weather, but I'm not going to lie, I am definitely going to miss throwing topwater, especially the topwater frog. The frog is always such a fun lure and can get you some big bites, so I'm hoping that this morning something eats this thing, but like I said, if anything's going to draw in that bite, it's got to be the frog. I've been throwing this popping one around a lot recently. It's become one of my favorite frogs. It's really easy to work, it looks good, and it's got some sticky hooks. So if something eats this, I need to relax a little bit and just set the hook and make sure I land that fish, because I'm not sure how many topwater bites we're actually going to get today, because like I said, it's a little bit cool this morning. So I'm at least hoping we get one. And, you know, this is one of those lures where, like, every time I go to the store and I'm looking for one, they're usually sold out of the color I like. So it's a very popular bait. I could definitely see why it's a bestseller. And this thing is just so solid. Hopefully solid enough to bring out a bite even in some cooler weather. So we'll have to see what happens, but thing looks good. Love the color. I think we have a very good chance as long as we can find an aggressive fish somewhere. I mean, it might take us a while, but we're gonna find one that wants a frog. There's gotta be a fish somewhere sitting up shallow, just waiting for something to come pop in its face. I just hope I don't whiff the first fish. I actually have to land the bite. Like, this is a big pressure moment because I don't know how many frog bites I'm gonna get. So if I get a bite, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm patient and I set the hook the best I can. Oh. Oh, okay, in my defense, it was a small fish, but still, that was a bite. Okay, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. It just was not a fish that could have fully ate this thing. I saw him take it under, but it looked like he grabbed it in a weird spot. Am I making excuses? Kind of, but no. That was a really small fish. I actually saw him. But that is a bite, so I can't miss the next bite. I let him take it. I let him take it. Oh my gosh. 2 bites. Jeez. Okay, well, not off to a hot start here. 0 for 2, baby. 0 for 2. But I am getting a feel for what they want. I was walking it and that fish hit it. So I've been walking the frog twice now and gotten bites. So that might be the way to go here. Dude, what is happening? I didn't see him. I don't think he took it under. I don't think he took it under. They're just coming up and tapping it. They're just tapping it. They're not blowing up on it, they're tapping it. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a long day. They're like hitting it when I pause it, but they're not fully hitting it. At least throwing a frog can be comical at times, you know? Like, you may not land every fish, but at least you get to whiff a few hook sets and look like an idiot. You know, sometimes I wonder why I make things way more difficult than they have to be. But then I remember, it just builds character, you know? Like, some people would have missed fish and be like, I'm not throwing the frog anymore. Well, I pretty much have to. So it's either sink or swim, you know? Set the hook or swim, or set the hook and miss, whatever you want to say, but you get the point. Ah, 0 and 4. I have no words except for disappointment in myself. 0 and 4. Are we kidding right now? Please, please eat the frog. There it is. Why did I pick the frog to start off with? Why? Someone please explain. I just had to make it hard on myself, didn't I? I felt that one. I felt that one. Still missed him. Oh my gosh. We're 0 for like 6 or 7. I don't even know at this point. There's one on the frog. Finally got him. Smoked him. Gosh, he hammered that thing. Come here, buddy. Come here. That's not a bad one. That's the bite we've been looking for. That's the bite we've been looking for. Get up here. I'm not losing another fish on the frog. It's not happening. He's in the boat, baby. Let's go. There we go, baby. That's been the problem. The fish have just been kind of tapping it. They haven't really been eating it aggressively. This fish literally jumped on top of it, and he finally, well, I finally got a hook in one. Let's go. Well, after being 1 in 8, 9, 10, I don't know, who's counting, right? We finally have a fish on the topwater frog. Boy, was that painful. You know, I always have to make things difficult on myself, and I said, hey, it's cold this morning. Why not start off with the frog? I knew it was probably gonna be a bad idea, but the worst part about it was, it wasn't even that the bite was bad. I just was not getting those bites to really set the hook, and the ones I did, I just whiffed on. But we finally have one on the frog. Man, he hit that thing so aggressively. See you, buddy. I've also learned with these frogs, they definitely get better over time. So once you get a few blow-ups, you break this thing in, you're not gonna miss as many. Well, we finally caught one on the topwater frog. We're 1 in 10, I think. I missed a ton of fish missed the frog. It's not prime frog time, you know, it's cold this morning. So I'm just glad we finally got one, but I absolutely love that frog. I've been throwing it a lot recently. Not that color, that's a new color. I have not really seen that one either. So it's a cool bait, but I'm excited to move on to something that I think is gonna perform a little bit better today because it's a little cool out. So let's go ahead, let's move on to our next lure. So next up, we have the War Eagle Spinnerbait, and this thing has been around forever, and it's still one of the best selling spinnerbaits of all time. It's simple, reliable, and just flat out catches fish. And as you guys know, I absolutely love throwing spinner baits, and this one is super unique. I love the color, and look at the design on the blades. But this should be good, you know, overcast, water's a little muddy. This thing should be down there vibrating, putting off that flash. It's a lure that I have a lot of confidence in, especially this time of the year. So I'm excited to be throwing this. And believe it or not, I don't think I've ever thrown a War Eagle spinnerbait. So it's a first for everything today. We're throwing some new stuff that I've never thrown, and we're hoping for bites. Let's just hope I can actually hook fish with the spinnerbait, because I was struggling with the frog. Yeah, I'm really interested on what the fish are doing today with this weird weather we've been having. Been having a lot of overcast and rain and some cooler mornings, some cooler air, some wind. So I don't know if they're a little confused or what, but hopefully the spinnerbait is not gonna have a problem getting a bite, which I don't think it will. The spinnerbait is just so good this time of the year. But I cannot wait to get thumped tossing around the spinnerbait. There's some, oh, we're on, there's one. There we go. Gosh, that kind of scared me. He lit it up. Come here, buddy. Get up here. Yes. Giants, baby. Let's go. Absolute monster. That's why I kind of hesitated. I felt the bite, but I thought I missed him, but he was just extremely small. Look at this guy. Nothing crazy, but hey, he's a fish on the old War Eagle spinnerbait. This thing's pretty cool. It's definitely got some thump to it. So this guy felt it, and he said, you know what? I got to go eat it. Thank you, buddy. Like I said, nothing crazy, but very cool spinnerbait. I love the blades on this thing, and they put off a bunch of vibration. Well, the spinnerbait never disappoints, and I'm excited because that was the first time I've ever used that one. It didn't catch us a giant, but we got a fish on the board, and I think I might have found a new favorite spinnerbait. I might have to try out a few more of those. So excited with how it performed, and we caught a fish. So now it's time for our next bait. So next up, we have the Mini Max Chatterbait, and it's one of the top selling bladed jigs right now. It's a smaller profile with a tighter vibration, and it is perfect for pressured fish. And tons of anglers swear it outperforms the full-size version, and we're about to find out. So here we have it, the Mini Max. This thing is actually super cool. It's got a smaller blade, it's got a nice jig head, and it's a smaller profile. So if you're fishing somewhere where the fish are a little finicky, this could be the bait to draw them out. And with how today's been going, we've been getting a lot of short strikes. So I'm hoping that this bad boy is going to catch us fish no problem. And I can feel this thing thumping so fast right now, it's actually crazy. I mean, this probably puts off so much vibration and just is the perfect little bait right now, especially with the wintertime coming up. That vibration, they like that stuff. I mean, I can feel it all the way through the rod. So it might be small and it's in a tiny package, but boy, it's got some kick to it. Let's see what the fish think about it though. Like I said, lots of short strikes today, especially on the frog. I've just had little ones come up and tap it, knock it out of the water. They're not fully eating. So I think this could be the perfect bait to turn those little nibbles into bites. There's only one way to find out, and that's to fish this thing. So we'll see what we can do here. There's one. Oh, no way. No way I've missed this many fish. Man, I get too excited. I'm like antsy, you know, when I get a bite, I'm just ready to swing, you know. You sit there and put in all that work, and then you finally get one. It's exciting. I can't help myself. Today has been a very strange day of fishing. It's like they're fired up, but it's also like they're not fired up. Like, we've had some aggressive bites, and I've just had some bites that were just you know. It's a weird time of the year. Whenever this cooler air comes in, it really just seems to throw them off. And I think that's what's happening today. We've had bites, but they've just been so weird. I don't know if they're trying to eat it or they're just hitting. I have no idea. It's been a strange day, but I have not helped myself out at all. But it's okay. We're about to lock it in here. We're about to lock it in. There we go, we're on, we're hooked up. There we go. We're on, baby, with the chatterbait. All I had to do was speed it up a bit. Got one to come commit on it. Come here. There we go, he's in the boat, baby. Man, it's been such a weird day of fishing, but I can get in certain areas and finally find one. And there we go, on the chatterbait. I was just cranking it really fast before I went by a piece of structure. And there was a fish. Thanks, bud. Well, we finally caught one on the chatterbait. I love that thing. It's small, but it's mighty. It puts off a really good vibration. And I think today's just been slow because of the weather. You know, this time of the year always seems to get tough in the south because we have really hot weather, then it gets cold, and it's just back and forth, and the fish get really confused. But the good thing is we have some of the best-selling lures, and they've been putting fish in the boat. So if we didn't have them, who knows what the bite could look like. But we're gonna move on to our next lure. So next up, we have the Geecrack Bellows Gill. And this thing is wild, but it has been one of Japan's hottest imports and a top seller in the US ever since it dropped. It has a ribbed body that moves a ton of water. The profile is super realistic, and everyone says that bass just can't resist it. So we're about to find out. This is actually gonna be my first time throwing this lure. I have it on a little Ned rig, and look at that tail. That thing is shaking like crazy. So we're just gonna see what happens, and we're gonna see if the bass really just cannot resist this thing. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot to mention, this is probably one of the worst smelling lures out there. I mean, it just has a really unique scent that is supposed to draw fish in, but man, when I touch this thing and sniff it, it's got a very, very strange smell. But as long as it draws fish in, that's all you need. I'm interested to see what these bottom baits do. It's gonna give us a good idea of what these fish are doing. Maybe that's why we haven't had a whole lot of reaction bites, just because they've been sitting on the bottom or something. I don't know. It's strange. See, the only problem with this pond is like all the structure is on the bank line. So I really don't know where else to fish, because I think it's deep out in the middle, and I just don't know if there's any trees or anything out there. So that's why I made so many laps today, because there's really only so many places I feel like the fish could go and tuck up under. Is that a fish? That is a fish. There we go. Oh, he came off. Dude, the amount of fish I've missed today is insane. Come on, Bellows Gill. Go down there and stink it up for me and draw in a fish. It's time. We need to get on them here. It's been slow all day long. We need to finish strong with these last few lures. There we go. There's one. There's one. We're hooked up. There he is. Feels decent too. Feels like a decent fish. Oh, that's not bad. Wow, he is shaking like crazy. Come here, buddy. Come here. That's the new biggest of the day, I think. There we go. Get up here. Bellows Gill, baby. I like this thing. It smells bad, but the fish love it. I mean, just look at how he ate that thing. Absolutely crunched it. That is such a cool lure. Look at that thing. It's just wiggly. It's floppy. Oh, it stinks so bad. Oh, whoo. Nothing crazy, but the Bellows Gill claims a victim. Potentially the new biggest of the day. I'm not sure. I think it might be a tie between the frog fish and this one, but thanks, bud. See ya. He was down there in the depths. Well, I'm actually super impressed with the Bellows Gill. It has definitely been the lure that we have caught fish on the quickest, and it had a lot of bites. Maybe it's because of that nasty smell. It just really draws those fish in. But it is a unique lure, and it is super cool, and I definitely will be throwing it more in the future. But now, let's move on to our next bait. So next up, we have the Yamamoto Senko, and you can't talk about the best sellers without mentioning this one. It's the bait that started the entire movement with the simplest design that just works. It's still one of the most purchased soft plastics every single year, and it is pretty much a guarantee to catch fish. So I got this bad boy rigged up on a wacky rig, one of my favorite ways to throw it, and we're gonna see just how effective this bait is today, because this bait out here is usually my go-to because it just works so good. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. This thing gets bites, and with how today's been, I'm really expecting this thing to kind of carry us through and get a bite pretty quick, and you know, us be able to land them. Hopefully I don't miss another fish, because that would just not be fun. But I think today's just been, oh, I just had a bite. Today's been really weird because the fish have been active, but in a weird way. It's like they've been biting the lures, they've been doing all this stuff, but it's just like, it's such an odd way that they're attacking stuff. They're not super aggressive to the point where they're gonna like actually light this thing up and eat it, or they'll come back for it. It's like they come up, they tap it, and that's it. If you miss them, you're just out of luck. You know, they're not coming back. They're really weird today. This little drop off has been loaded today. I'm assuming they're probably in some sort of transition mode because they've just been so weird today. But this drop off is perfect because they can go shallow, or they can stay out deep, or they can get right in the middle and suspend. So this is where we've caught most of our fish and had most of our action. I think it would only be wrong not to throw the Senko over here. Let's see if anything's hanging around. You know, a weird thing too is it looks like the water is actually down, so that might be messing with them too. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into fishing, especially this time of the year. That little thing that's different could really mess these fish up. That's a fish. He's running off with it. There we go. We're on, baby. The worm. The worm never fails. The old wacky rig Senko. The finesse stuff has definitely been the move. Not a crazy big fish, but a fish. See you, bud. Thank you. Well, the fishing has not been the best today, but thankfully we have the best selling lures, and I can see why they're the best selling. I mean, they absolutely get the job done, and on a good day, we'd be crushing them right now. But we're down to our last lure, so let's go ahead, let's tie it up, and let's hopefully find one more fish. Well, last but not least, we have the Berkley Nessie. It's a soft-bodied glide bait that's been flying off the shelves. It's built to swim slow and natural. It's kind of like a real bait fish sliding through the water, and everyone calls it the most affordable big fish bait on the market. And fun fact, I actually have a ton of these things and I've never thrown one. So today is going to be the first time, and we're going to see just how good this thing is, and hopefully we're going to find a fish. It's going to be interesting because today has been a little weird. So I don't know if they're going to come up and eat a glide, but we're going to try our best. I'm excited. I like throwing glide baits. I just don't know if the fish are going to be real interested in this thing today with how they've been acting. Wow, this thing actually does look really good. You can fish it a few different ways too. You can glide it yourself, or you can reel it and make it look like a real fish swimming through. So lots of different ways we could fish this here. Man, if I was a fish, I would eat that thing. That looks gorgeous. Yeah, this bait looks really, really good. You can fish it a whole bunch of different ways. But with how today's been going, I don't know how the fish are going to react to this thing, especially in this pond. I don't know if there's any glide bait eaters in here, but I'm going to try my best to find one. Well, I've officially hit the entire pond twice with this thing. And let's just be honest, if I was struggling with the chatterbait, there's just no way that we're gonna catch one with the glide bait. I've hit just about everywhere multiple times today, and the fish have just turned off completely. Well, it was an absolute grind out today. The weather has really messed up the fish. When this cold air comes in, it usually messes them up for a little bit, and they just start acting really, really weird. But we still got it done with our best-selling lures, and they're best sellings for a reason. I mean, without them, who knows what we would have caught today if we would have had as many bites as we did. And we even got some good bites on our lures and caught some decent fish. But I wanted to remind you guys that I will be going live on Whatnot November 7th. And if you guys have never signed up, you guys can use that link down below in the description and get a free $15 to spend on the app. Come and join me live. We can talk tackle, we can give some stuff away, and you guys will have the chance to purchase some fishing gear, and it will be a good time. So I hope to see you guys there. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.